Okay, so we're ready to do our creamy chicken and sun-dried tomato pasta. So here we have it up on the screen, and I'm going to start cooking. Okay, so I'm taking the lid off. As I can see, I've changed the scale, so I need to go back to 0. That's the most important thing to remember. So I need 70 of onion, which is roughly about 1 onion, I think is 70. So you'll never chop an onion again if you get a Thermomix, because it just you can do 20 onions all together in about 8 seconds. If you're preparing something big, like a dish, like maybe lasagnas for the freezer or something like that, it's just, it's a wonderful, and the same with garlic. So you just quarter it, just. Okay. Okay, that'll do. Okay, next. 2 garlic cloves, my garlic here. It's a big garlic. Okay, 2 garlic cloves. Next, sprig of fresh parsley. Oh, I had to put in. Next, fresh basil. I'm just going over here to get my basil. Now, and a red chilli, which I have here. Quite a big chilli, so it'll be spicy. Just take off the seeds. Just chop it in roughly like that. Next, some sun-dried tomatoes, which I have here. Back to 0. Okay. So butter, now I'm not going to put the butter in because they were in oil, so I think we've enough oil. So I'm just going to go ahead with this. Now, measuring cup in and turn to speed 7. Okay. Scrape down the sides with my spatula. See how quickly now that minces it all up. It's a great start for any ragu or anything. Just going to, sometimes you get bigger pieces up at the top and your recipe tells you scrape down and do it again, or just they have it all, they're all tried and tested, all the Thermomix recipes. So if it tells you to scrape it down and do it again, it's worth doing. So insert the measuring cup and turn speed selector to 1. So now this is cooking. So this is just sweating the onions and the garlic, and while it does that, I'm just going to tidy up these things. So once you've done a few things like soup, it takes about 3-4 minutes to sweat your onions, and then you add your stock or your liquid and you make soup in about 12 to 14 minutes. Okay, next. All right, so these have all sautéed beautifully and it smells delicious. So I'm going to add 500 of chicken, which I have here. Ready, back to 0 here. Now, that's it, almost. Next, now 250 of cream, which is here. Yeah. And Next, we've got 350 of water. I'm just going to fill that with water. We'll use the rest of the cream. Lovely. Thank you. 350 of water. Okay. So next, 80 of white wine. Always a good excuse to open a bottle of wine.
Like a glass.
No, I won't have a glass. Next. So now I'm going to put in a tablespoon of chicken stock paste. The chicken stock paste is a store cupboard ingredient that you can make. Lasts for about 3 months, and you can make vegetable paste as well. It's lovely. There's parmesan, wine, chicken, and because there's so much salt in it, it's kind of cured, and that's why it lasts for so long. So you can use it as the basis for all stews, soups, everything. So I'm going to put a tablespoon, so that's 2 of these. Okay. Measuring cup. So now we're just, so it's at, for 10 minutes, 100 degrees at a gentle stir. So we have 10 minutes now while we're waiting for the chicken to cook. So we can relax and, well, I won't have a glass of wine, it's too early. Okay, so our sauce is cooked now. So now time to add the pasta. So I'm just pressing next. Before I say, I just want to draw your attention to the red marks there. As the heat in the bowl goes up, this becomes red, just for little hands, or if you have children, that they realise it's hot. So I'm just going to have a look at that now. That looks gorgeous. So now we're going to add the pasta. So we're back to 0. So we're adding 250 of pasta. This is penne pasta I'm using, but you could use any pasta. Okay, so next, start the measuring cup. And then, so for 7 minutes at 100 degrees, it's going to cook the pasta. And while we're doing that, so meanwhile, if you were cooking something else, like a dish like this, and you had something light, like perhaps couscous or something, you could use your varoma and you could have it above. So while that's cooking, you can have your couscous steaming, or you could have something light. Now, you wouldn't be able to do your rice or potatoes or anything like that because it's too far away, but to steam something like couscous, it would be perfect. Also, if you're making a soup or anything, you can just take the lid off and sit something up here, and while your soup is cooking, you could have some chicken underneath, some little veg there, and cook them all at the same time. And one of the recipes, there are quite a few recipes that have a full dinner, and it cooks it all at the same time in this layered cooking. So you could do fish or chicken or plenty of other dishes while they're cooking. And then there are some recipes where the sauce beneath, the soup beneath, you just leave a little bit of soup in just enough to cover the blades. Add in creme fraiche, mustard, dill, whatever you want, lemon juice or something, and then you have your sauce as well. So without having a second other saucepan or anything, you've cooked everything just using your Thermomix. So the other thing that the varoma, you can also do steamed puddings. You can do like a sticky toffee pudding, lemon puddings like that. You can also sterilize your jars if you're making pesto or something. Now, it doesn't take very large jars, obviously, because it's not that big, but you could put 6 little, those little yogurt glass ones with the tops, and then they're sterilized, and you can put your pasta or your lemon curd or your pesto or whatever into them. Also great for baby food. You can puree everything and then just sterilize your jars and put them in for babies. So it's like the Thermomix is a fantastic thing for somebody starting a whole wonderful wedding present, because there's so many things you don't need. You don't need your scales, you don't need your KitchenAid, you don't need your NutriBullet, you don't need your blenders, your whisks, your graters. It does all of that. Your rice cookers, all of those will be redundant when you have your Thermomix. So we'll let this cook now and we'll be back in a moment. So now we've just finished. I'm plating it up here. Just going to add a little bit of seasoning, some salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of parmesan, which we grated earlier. A little touch of basil. And there we are, ready to go. Bon appetit.